TNT Lord here, and in today's video I'll be covering some tricks for explorers. These tricks are the rule of 6, the rule of 8, the 4AU trick, and the micro warp drive and cloak trick. If you haven't heard of some of these or any of them, well, that's why you're watching this video, probably. So the rule of 6 is if there is a set of 7 nodes with 1 node on the center and 6 around the edges, it has to be a complete set. If you find a defense node in the center, the core is going to be on one of those 6 nodes around the edge. Now, if there is no defense node in the center, that does not mean the core is not on one of those 6 nodes. It still might be. But if there is a defense node there, it is for sure going to be on one of those 6 nodes around the edges. So if you have a lot of these clusters, you can just check through them all. If there's a defense node on one of them, that basically tells you where your core is, or pretty close to where it is. The rule of 8 is a bit more complicated. Now, the core is not going to spawn before the 8th node away from your starting point. The only exception to this is when your starting point is in a position where there's no possible point that is at least 8 nodes away. So if you see here, we can eliminate like half the grid by just using this rule. Now, you might not be able to do this on the fly as you're exploring, like if you're in a wormhole and there's someone else nearby, it might not be a good idea to start doing this and counting the nodes, but you can know it's not going to be close to the starting point, of course, unless you start in the center and there's no possible location that it could be away. If you see here, this arrow there, that's where it was in this site. But this can help you out a lot. So the 4AU trick is basically that instead of scanning the signatures full circle where it might be, to scan the planet that it's on at 4AU. Now, if it's in the middle of a cluster of planets, you can't really tell which planet it's around, but it will always be within 4AU of a planet, except for sleeper sites, and I think wormholes might be able to do this, but I don't know for sure. But usually it will just be within that 4AU of a planet. That's why you never see them like out in the middle of nowhere. And this can speed up the process of scanning by a lot, especially when you're scanning thousands of sites. The micro warp drive cloak trick is something that I think every EVE player should know, but I'm not sure they all do, so I'm covering it here. For this, you'll need a improved cloaking device. The prototype one doesn't work. For the improved one, it's only cloaking to level 3, and that takes about a day and a half as an Omega clone, which is the only way you can train it, and it'll make it a lot safer. Then you also need, of course, the micro warp drive, and you'll jump through into a gate in low sec or wherever you're going. In this case, I'll be doing it in high sec because I don't want to fly all the way out to low sec. And oh yeah, this doesn't work. This doesn't really help you with bubbles or smart bombs, so you have to be careful of those two. But then you're going to select whatever you want to warp to, and you're going to go and align, activate your micro warp drive, and then your cloak. You have to do it in that order, otherwise it just won't work. And then once your micro warp drive cycles over, you're going to deactivate your cloak and hit warp. This means you're only targetable for about a second or two, which makes it a lot safer traveling in low sec. That's about it. On to the next trick. Now, I don't have any footage for this trick. That's because I just remembered it, and I'm almost done editing this video. It's the alpha clone speed trick. As an alpha clone, you can't cloak up, so it can be kind of hard to stay safe while scanning. So what I suggest you do is fit a cap stable micro warp drive onto your ship. That way you're going about 2,000, hopefully 3,000 kilometers per second. If not, you can fit some overdrive injectors on there to make you go a little faster. That means that by the time anything that has combat scanned you down and warps onto you, by the time they actually land, you'll be out of warp disruption range, and you'll have time to warp off, hopefully. That's it for this video. See you guys in the next video. I'm out and going to bed. Oh yeah, like and subscribe and stuff. Bye.